The Australian Ghost Whisperer with Katerina Legato and James Jennings.
Hello everybody.
Hi everyone, welcome back.
We have got a topic today which I think a lot of people are going to be really into, which is how to connect with your spirit guides and with loved ones who may have passed over. I think it's something that everyone is probably hoping that they can do. You might think that the only people who can do it are people like Katerina, but Katerina's here to tell you that you also have the ability to tap into it and do it yourself. Is that a fair thing to say, Kat?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always seeing endless clients who want to connect with loved ones on the other side, and they don't believe that they have the ability to do that. It's a fine veil between this reality and the reality, the realm of spirit. If you've just recently lost someone or you have family members on the other side, you are able to connect with them. The language that you use to speak to them is through your heart. There's no need for words. You can speak to them out if you feel like you need to speak to them out loud, or perhaps you feel like you want to, sit in meditation and communicate to them that way. There's endless ways that you can do this, but I always say get into your heart. So close your eyes when you want to communicate with a loved one. Just close your eyes and just go into a quiet space in your mind. Just relax, allow all the clutter and thinking process, and also so just let go of the outcome of it. Just go into it with a calm mind and an open heart. Connect in with your heart, because the language of love is the loudest language, is the one that they will hear the most, because they are in a realm of love. When you go into that quiet space, whatever you feel you need to say to them, you might be saying, I miss you, I love you, or show me that you're around. And just sit quietly, again, relax, and you will feel something. You will feel the sound of their voice, or you might have feel the scent, a scent that they used to wear, or you may have a vision, a very clear vision of them in your third eye. There will be something that will come through. By setting that intention that you want to make contact with them means that it's like a sounding board that goes out into the spirit realms, and they become aware of you, and they will make themselves known to you in a way that's also comfortable for them. Perhaps that you might go into meditation and feel like, I didn't feel anything. They may come through in your dreams. You would be surprised. Every night you do leave. We all leave our bodies when we sleep. Our soul has an opportunity to get out of the confinement and restrictions of the physical body, and is able to go out into the spirit realms. And many, many times the first place the soul will go is to a loved one, someone else's soul that they've loved and had so many, different past lives with them, and happy, loving experiences with that person. You don't always recall your dreams, unfortunately, because most times we go to bed, we're so tired, we're restless, or in the morning we wake up and there's an alarm bell going off. So you don't have time to sort of wake up peacefully and just lay there and recall your dreams. So this is a good way, a practice that you could do if you are trying to communicate with a loved one, is, perhaps on a weekend when you don't need to get up early for work, is just when you wake up, make a conscious commitment to just laying in the bed for 5-10 minutes. Keep your eyes closed and just ask your unconscious to bring to your conscious mind the dreams of where you've been through the night, where your soul went through the night. And you might start to find that you will remember. You might even want to write little things down, and over a course of maybe a week or whatever, you might find that the messages are there. So it's really important that you just take the time with this. And once you start to tweak it, you will find ways that you can communicate with your loved ones on the other side. And it's just a learnt and something new, because we've been again programmed to believe that we cannot talk to the people that our loved ones, that, or to speak to the dead, or that they, and dead is the wrong word because they're not dead, they've just been reborn into another dimension. So I think using that word dead is always so negative. It's like dead is end, they no longer exist, but they do. So they've just passed into a different reality that is obviously higher than 3D. But when you have that love in your heart for that person that has just passed, that high vibration, that love of the heart chakra will help you to be on that higher vibration and be able to make that connection with them. And like I said, it will come in, maybe a smell, a message, a voice, or you might hear laughter that was something to do with that person. But if you persist with it, you will definitely be able to communicate with loved ones. It's just another way of communicating that, we're not used to. We're used to everything that the 3D way, but you can communicate with your loved ones, and your loved ones will often make themselves aware. Also, they will often come into your reality and perhaps, move something, or in a gentle, fun way, or, bring in a butterfly, or there'll be something, a bird that perhaps they loved, or the smell. I've had sense of like roses, and I know that that's my grandmother coming through, for example. So they always will try and make themselves known. So the best way is just take your time. It's a new skill that you will learn, but you are always in communication, because with our loved ones, the power of love, the vibration of love can never be broken. It continues to exist beyond eternity. So you will, when you return to spirit, love will be that magnet that draws you back to your loved ones. And so therefore you do get to be with them again. You will see them again. You will enjoy time with them again. But it's hard sometimes, of course. It's very painful when you've lost someone and you feel like they've gone. They've not gone. They're just in a different dimension, a higher frequency than 3D, but they're still very much connected to you, and as you are to them. And it's okay to say to them, I miss you, I love you, whatever's in your heart, just have that conversation with them, and eventually you'll find that you're opening up that communication between you and your loved ones, and you will find that they will respond back in ways that can be quite amazing, and how much they can go to the effort to make themselves known and let you know that they're okay. And yet, look, I know, like, lots of clients come and see me and they want to have like the real deal connection, and of course that's still a lot of fun, and it gives people a great deal of peace knowing that their loved ones are on the other side. Like, we've had many a laugh with some of the people that I've met on the other side. Some family members are really funny, and and they make little jokes, and it's a lot of fun. But it's sad because they feel like, oh, once the session's over, they're like, oh, when can I come back? When can I connect with them again? It's like, no, you can do this. You really can. Just keep at it, and always when you go into your heart, you're going to find that you're going to lift your vibration beyond 3D. You're going to get more in touch with your soul, your divine spirit self, and then that's going to be that beautiful soul connection, soul to soul connection that you'll make with your loved ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a lot of people who have told me that they've had passed over loved ones have come to them in dreams. I've had it happen to myself. Yeah. It seems like dreams is a really common one.
Because that's when we leave our bodies.
Right.
So we are able to fly and rise up into the spirit realms.
Right. And I've also, tell me if this is correct, I've heard that if someone's grieving, particularly grieving quite heavily about the loss of a loved one, it's a lot harder for them to establish that. It may have been you who told me this, that it's harder to establish that connection with them because you're on kind of like this frequency of grief while they're on a frequency
and you need
of
love, correct.
Yeah.
And so that forms like a feeling of separation, and people have said, I don't feel my loved one, because they're in such deep grief. And I guess you've got to just go through that process. There's no shortcut to grief. You need to feel that grief, but know that once you begin to heal from the grief, that you will be able to make that connection to your loved one, and you'll feel them via your dreams or via you making that, quietening your mind and being able to just, connect in with them through your heart frequency.
Yeah. Because my mother, I know that when her mother passed away, she was obviously very upset. And I think she was waiting for her mother to come through to her. And I think she came through to me first because I was
more open
to it. So she came to me and gave me a little message, and I passed that on to Mum. Yeah, but Mum, I think she did eventually come to Mum in once some time had passed. She was able to come to Mum and visit her and had a little chat to her in the dream state as well. So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it is. It's again, it's just that we've been programmed to be a lower version of ourselves, and that but every night when you go to sleep, your soul surges and goes through many dimensions and meets up with so many other beings of light and meets up with other loved ones. You just don't recall them. But if you make that conscious, set that intention that you want to begin to recall your dreams, ask your unconscious mind to bring to your conscious mind the memories of the places you visited while you were asleep, the people you've seen while you were in your dream state, and slowly then your unconscious mind will release those memories. But you've got to remember not to be afraid, because I've also had people say, it's so funny, they said to me, I asked for my grandmother to show up, and then I woke up through the night and she was sitting there by my bed, and I was so scared. And so, they
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. So they would, your loved ones are also aware that if you bring in the fear factor into it, they don't want to scare you, they don't want to upset you. So be ready that you may actually see them sitting on your bed. So just open yourself up to that communication, and you'll find that once you get started, you really will enjoy it, and you really will open up, and it'll be incredible.
And you also mentioned how loved ones can come through symbolically. So, I've also had examples of people I know who've had this happen, where the person who's passed over might have liked a particular bird or a butterfly or an animal or something, and then in places where it's not typical to see that animal or bird or what have you, it just comes along, and it's almost like every time the person thinks of that person, this symbol of them comes in. How does that work? I mean, that's like some kind of weird magic.
So when you're on the other side, you're in your soul strength. You're in this, you're in this state of infinity and greater awareness. So your ability to communicate with a physical bird, a butterfly, is really easy. Your psychic abilities are all open. So this is what happens when you get out of the physical body and you go into the spirit realm. All your psychic abilities are on fully opened, and you're in full alert. So for you to communicate to, say, a bird or a butterfly or even a cat or a dog, to say, can you just, will you go there and show yourself to my, is very simple.
I've always wondered how that works, and that makes sense, because if you're passed over and you're connected to the oneness of everything, then obviously you've got a direct line to animals to go, hey, flutter this way and
that's how they do it. You have endless abilities, and especially if the person that's passed away is already quite aware when they passed away, had some sort of a spiritual kind of understanding, then they're going to have an easy time in spirit and the spirit dimensions, and they're going to really enjoy being able to kind of use all these amazing abilities that now seem so simple, like being psychically connected to all everything, and being connected to animals, and So it is easy for them to do that. But you do have the same ability. It's only that in 3D it does feel like it's such, we're in these dense bodies. But the thing is, with any kind of communication with spirit or loved ones or even your own spirit guides, is to lift your spirit away from your 3D body. So you're kind of moving out of your body into more of your spirit self. So you're bringing your awareness into your spirit self, which is able to then communicate with loved ones or your spirit guides, or perhaps you have the angelic realm, or you might have high evolved ETs that want to communicate with you. So that's how you need to teach yourself to lift your vibration away from the 3D into the higher frequencies, and then you have better reception. Okay, you have much better reception to be able to communicate with all the higher beings that you want to communicate in the spirit realm, in the spirit dimensions. Yeah, so it's like a radio, you fine tune it to a particular station. I want to, communicate with a loved one, or I want to, communicate with my guides. But if you're just sitting in kind of your body and you're thinking, okay, I want to kind of talk to my loved one or a spirit, it's not going to happen. You're not going to feel it because you're in a dense frequency, and for these bodies are quite dense. So you have to elevate your vibration by meditating and going into your heart, because that's you when you connect to the seed of God, your creator, and that lifts your frequency out of 3D into the higher dimensions. And so you have all these new channels, radio stations that you can tune into if you want to look at it that way.
Let's talk about guides for a second. So we've talked about loved ones who may have passed over, who we can try and reach out to and communicate with. Who are our guides?
So I always think of our guides as extensions of God, of Creator God, and often guides have not really had any physical incarnations into this world. Often they are very high evolved beings of pure light. Their consciousness is just pure light and love. And they are here to assist humanity with their growth. Now, I always say to people, guides are there to kind of help you through or nudge you along. But when you start using you can't use your guides for yes and no answers. So think, if you're getting guides coming in or that is saying do this, do that, then I think you really need to question and disconnect from that. Your guides are just a consciousness of pure love and light. So they're there to kind of embrace you and help you to feel the love, connect you to the Creator God, and help you to get through, to maybe ask for healing or ask for help in realizing your spiritual gifts or wisdom. Perhaps they can download you wisdoms and how to help yourself, how to help humanity. I just have a problem when they start telling you what to do. I think that for me is the warning bells. Like, even with me, I've worked with spirit for so long, they've never really told me what to do. They've kind of shown me, even when I was going through all the training of how to clear haunted environments, they took me into those environments and they kind of would sort of encourage me to work out how I could change and transform that energy. So they never said this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So that's how your guides will help you, and they're just extensions of pure light, and they do help humanity. There's also there's a lot of beautiful ETs from other higher, even other universes where they are in peace and harmony, and they are very high frequency ETs that are happy to connect with humans to help because they see us here. They know that planet Earth, we're one of the most probably species that are struggling the most out of most of the higher realms. So they know that we're struggling, but you can ask them for help. Now, again, they're not going to come in and clean up the oceans for us and clean our mess, but they might be able to encourage or teach you ways to open up portals of light, or maybe change your diet so that it's more of a organic and more of a healthy diet that's not doing a lot of damage to the planet. So these are ways that they will help you to grow and become an enlightened being, to progress in your own spiritual evolution. So it's just, if your heart is in the right, if you set the right intention in your heart that you only want to connect with the highest and purest, then that's what you will draw to you. But it's really important to go very easy on this and make sure that the messages that you are getting are from a state of purity and love. And just make sure that, they're not kind of saying do this, do that. I've heard people say, oh, my God told me to do this, and my God told me today to stay home, and I have a real issue with that. To me, if a guide or any kind of entity is trying to control you, even though it might seem innocent, I feel like you really need to question that, and maybe get some help with somebody who is quite highly experienced to kind of, help you with that, to ascertain whether it is for your benefit or not. Because I've seen people get into a lot of, kind of few disasters with connecting with guides. So you really have to take your time. And at first, connecting with your guides, you might just feel this expansion of your own energy, because what happens is, they're so expanded and full of light and powerful. And so when they join with your energy, you're going to feel this huge expansion of light and energy, and you're going to feel your frequency like really vibrating at a higher frequency. You might even feel your own physical body tingling, even just sitting and getting used to holding that energy. It's very exciting, just being able to hold that energy. And then go slowly, take it from there. Learn to open up your mind and just allow the wisdom of what they want to share with you to come through. There's no fast way of doing this, but it is definitely possible to really have a powerful connection to spirit guides or to higher beautiful ETs that are in the cosmos, and to your loved ones. You absolutely have that ability to do that, as long as you're doing it cautiously, and you're confident with what you're doing. If you're feeling fearful, then don't. You've got to keep your vibration high. If something is trying to come in that you feel is not of the light, then just kind of push it away. Radiate your light from your heart at it, and it will go away. Always use that protection. Set your intention that you intend to only connect with the purest and highest, and connect yourself up to Creator God first, and go from there.
Well, look, as an example that anyone can do this, there would have been a time in my life where if you told me that I would have been able to connect with guides or whatever, I'd be like, no way. But now I can, and it's possible. And what you said about feeling expanded is true. I know that when I have a strong connection, it's almost like everything about me feels lighter. So it's almost like my body has no weight to it anymore. It's like I become incredibly light.
Because you stepped away from your body.
Yeah. But it's almost like you're being inflated. Like you kind of like it is. It's like you feel like it's like you're growing in size like this. Like you're just kind of like, and it's
expanding
like
your consciousness.
and you can feel it. It's like everything. It's like all the tension goes out of your body, all the heaviness goes out of your body, and it's like there's just this lovely flow to it, and you know that it's like a divine connection, because you feel this beautiful lightness of being that you don't feel as a human. It's
because we're in the dense.
Yeah. So when you actually break a bit out of that density, it's amazing.
It's beautiful. And also you can connect to your higher self. There's multiple dimensions of yourself. So you can use this same thing to connect with your higher self. The same exercise, getting into the higher frequency and connecting in with your soul, and then setting that intention to connect with your higher self, because your higher self, has all the memories of your past lives, and has the memories of many of the gifts you've acquired, and is able to download you lots of wisdom and information. So there's a higher version of you that's already evolved.
Yeah.
Don't forget, there is no time, past, present, future. It's all happening in the now. So there's already the higher evolved aspect of you that has all the answers. It's already developed. Connect with that aspect of yourself. That's your higher self that you connect to help you to kind of guide you through whatever issues are going on at the moment, or whatever it is you need to heal within your own life. So your higher self is the infinite abundance of information that of your own personal history. It's like your own personal Akashic records are held by your higher self.
It's a good way to look at your higher self in that, like, say, there's a ladder, and the ladder's already been built, and there's already the top of the ladder, which is your highest evolved self. At the bottom of the ladder is your lowest evolved self. It's all, but the ladder is still there. And you are just at one point on that ladder, experiencing this point on that ladder right now, even though the ladder is there.
Yeah, but it's like going to the top of that ladder kind of thing. You're going to the very top to experience the higher version of yourself.
Yeah. That's because when I do that connecting, I'm not sure if it's a guide or my higher self. In some ways,
it's a combination of all.
That's it. I'm not too hung up on it, because I'm like, whatever it is, it's a divine power. It's higher than me. It's got more wisdom and insight to offer than I do. So I don't get hung up on what it is. Higher self, guide, guardian angel. I don't know, but it's something. And sometimes I can detect like something will feel more feminine, like a more feminine energy. Sometimes it's a more masculine energy. So that's another funny thing as well, because how masculine and feminine energies play into
we
it as
both
well.
have masculine and feminine energy within us. So sometimes it can be that aspect of us that, if you're having a feminine energy coming through, it's because you're needing more of that energy to balance out the masculine aspect of yourself. So it all works harmoniously to benefit you, but it's just accessing the part of you, your higher self, that retains all the memories of who you really are, where you've been, your life's purpose. Sometimes people always get lost with, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't feel I have a purpose. Well, you all have a purpose, but it's just when you get in touch with that higher self, it can remind you, it reminds you of what your purpose is. It can help to bring you to better understand your gifts and what it is that you could be providing and bringing into this world for the benefit of everybody. So when you're setting that intention that it's for the benefit of not only yourself but everybody else, then it becomes so much easier. So that's where how you can actually come to better understand your purpose. And your purpose is generally things that you feel very passionate about. You might be very passionate about going out and saving the wildlife. I mean, it doesn't all have to, that is still a spiritual, beautiful thing you're doing, only it's more physical. You might be finding ways to talk about, how we need to save the koalas here in Australia, because we do. So these are, that is part of your purpose. And I believe that we don't just have a purpose. I think that we have many purposes, and I believe that those purposes sometimes change depending on our own spiritual growth. So when you open yourself up to your higher self can help you to put you on the right track towards that higher purpose. And you might run into people that will help you with that, or you might read a book that activates a memory of what your true purpose is. It's just being open and receptive. The universe will always bring messages to you when you are open and receptive to receiving them for your higher good. You know, it's only you shut down those channels of communication when the purpose is not from love. You know, if it's for greed or to hurt or harm somebody or someone or an individual, then those communications shut down, and people who do that then are opening themselves up to the dark realms, because they also want to have conduits on their behalf so that they can work through that particular person who has dark intentions and support them in it. You know, and unfortunately, people that are murderers and things like that, they're definitely always connected up to dark realms, dark entities that are kind of enticing them to do that. Energy, I know that, yes, they've got mental illness and they're psychopaths and all of that. That's the physical explanation of it. But I've seen, like you see them on the news when they bring and catch them and what have you. But energetically, I see really dark entities around them that are encouraging them, that are kind of, getting them to go and commit these terrible crimes. And that's why I always say, people don't understand how sometimes if they don't do the work on themselves, how they can be, easily guided or easily convinced by another entity to kind of go in another bad direction, like drug taking and all of these types of things often are hooked up to people being very low vibrational and not being in touch with their own hearts, not feeling love for themselves or appreciation for the gift of life, and therefore they're opening themselves up to the dark realms. And those dark realms, they'll have a feast day with you, because as I've said on so many other talks, that they want to keep this place in a state of havoc and grief and sorrow and darkness. And this is a war of consciousness that we are now experiencing. The battle of light and darkness is here on earth. And yes, it projects out into other realms beyond, our multidimensional earth. But there is a battle of consciousness happening here. And the dark wants to suck up as many of their people as they can. And the light wants to, reign and wants to heal and wants to love and help and do all that. So this isn't a time to sit in that grey area anymore. There were times when people could just sit in the grey area and just sit on the fence here. It's really a time of, making a commitment spiritually to evolve and to open yourself up to the greater energies and to begin to form relationships and co-create with God. It's not that we're not incapable. We can co-create with our Creator God and co-create for the benefit of everything and everyone on this planet. And that's how we help everything to heal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, if people want to connect with loved ones who've passed over or connect with their guides, what's one little thing they can try right now to try and do that?
Just close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths and just feel yourself relaxing and letting go. Just letting go of all thoughts and worries. And just let go of the outcome also. And now just take a few deep breaths into your heart chakra. You might want to place your hands over your heart chakra as you do that. Helps you to kind of really connect in with your heart. And feel that person in your heart. Just feel them. You don't even have to think of them. Feel them. Feel the essence. How did they feel? And you'll find that as you sit there and open up your heart and feel the love, that they will be there. That's how simple it is. That's how you open up the communication to your loved ones.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. Wonderful. All right. Give that a try, everyone. See how you go.
Yeah.
And I will take a moment to give ourselves a plug. Check out our Patreon account. The address will be down here, but it's patreon.com patreon.com/The Australian Ghost Whisperer, and we will be going into things like connecting with your guides a bit deeper. So if you're interested in that, the option is there for you.
Yeah, please come along.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
Indeed. But as for this episode, that's it for today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one.
Yeah, I hope it's all helped you to make some loving connections with your loved ones, because I know how important that is. And you can do the same with pets also. So you use the exact same technique to connect with your pets.
Love it.
Okay, lots of love to you all, and see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
To gain access to private spiritual development classes, guided meditations, and live Q&As with Katerina, please visit www.patreon, that's patreon.com/The Australian Ghost Whisperer.